this week's episode of Bear Down Ballers. I'm your host, AJ BRAMLETT. Back with me again, like every week, my super producer, Ryan Wall. And we had a great game over the last weekend, man, against our rivals. I thought it was a great showing for us, on a national TV game. What were your thoughts on the ASU game, Ryan?
Yeah, it was a big 69-60 win over Arizona's rival, Arizona State, in Tempe. And like you said, AJ, what's better than beating your rival on national TV? I thought it was a great win, obviously. ASU is always a very hostile environment. I thought Tubelis was the star of the show. Thought he was excellent, 7 for 14, 21 points, 9 rebounds. As Oumar also had a double-double to go along with it. What do you think about this and getting that win over Arizona State?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. And, to start in the first half, we got off to a great start and kind of kept that going. But I like that we took their punch, man. And they came out, you got to give them credit because they came out second half and kind of put it on us there for a while and cut the game, down to 2 points at one point. And, they had all the energy, but we didn't fold. We just kept running our stuff. And, really one of the biggest plays of the game, in my opinion, was Henry's play. I think we were down, we were up 51-49 or something like that, 2 points around that time. They had all the momentum, and he battled in there, got a strong offensive rebound and put back, and that kind of settled us down from that point forward. And you're starting to see more things from him like that, and then more confidence growing. Even when he blocked the shot, in the first half and had some words for the ASU player, which I love, and showing that confidence. I've really seen, leaps and bounds from him, which we continue to see. Doesn't always show up in the stat sheet for him scoring double figures or whatever it is, but just the plays that he's making that impact the game and winning, we're continuing to see every time out. And then, Zoo is obviously he's the man right now, man. He's just playing really good basketball. We can throw it to him whenever we need a bucket. He's running the court. The dunk he had was sensational. He's just playing really good basketball. And then Oumar I liked because he started off slow in this game, and it could have been a game where, he couldn't have been very productive. He had some foul trouble. He wasn't able to get into a rhythm, early on in the game, but he just kept battling and staying patient, choosing his spots, and then ended up, still with 12 and 12 and a double-double, and played really well. And then, we held, ASU, they only had one guy in double figures, which is Frankie Collins, and he didn't shoot the ball well. None of them really shot the ball really well. So I thought our defense was really good. And the guy that I want to point out a little bit, he had some turnovers in this game, but ran the game, Kerr, his defense has been really good, man. And if you watch him closely, the way that he defends, the way he stays in front of guys, the way he challenges, gets steals. I want to point that out because people don't really give him credit for his defense. They always talk about his shooting and, his passing and kind of his personality, but his defense has been really good. And, he locked up those guys and played really well. And so it was just an overall really good, performance for us. It showed that we can win, in a low-scoring game too, which is always good to show. We don't have to score 100 points to win the game. And we can take the team's best shot on the road and fight back and have a really solid victory.
I wanted to ask you, what else do you think – what do you think this shows people about this Arizona team when, it was a really good win, but like you said, it was low scoring, not the way Arizona normally gets their victories. Also, two of their best scorers, normally Pelle Larsson, Courtney Ramey, couldn't really get it going too much in this game. And Arizona, didn't shoot the ball great. They shot it under 40% from the field, 22% from three. And, it's really kind of tough when those things don't go your way, but they did play great defense and scored buckets when they needed. What do you think this, tells people about this Arizona team?
Yeah, it's just that we're a versatile team, you know what I mean? And that it's not just all offense because everyone, points to the offense and the speed and the pace of play. And that is a, defining factor in most of our victories. But when things go wrong, what are you going to do? And that's the sign of a team that can make a deep run in the tournament and compete for a championship is that can you win in different styles? And so this game was one of those games where we weren't shooting it great from 3-point land. Even though Pella and Courtney had, some good time, big moments during the game, they weren't on fire during that game. and we were still able. And I mean, ASU, most teams, when a team comes out of halftime like that and puts a run on you and cuts your lead all the way down, and the crowd is into it, and they're dunking 3 or 4 times in a row, teams fold in that position a lot of times. And we didn't. We fought back. We handled it, and we pushed the lead up again, kept it comfortable for most of the game, the second half, and then closed it out with a 9-point victory on the road in a super hostile environment against a really good defensive team. Like ASU is a really versatile team. They got long, rangy, athletic guys that really play hard. Coach Hurley has them playing really hard, so it was just a really good victory for us all around. And I think it showed, showed people that we can win in various ways.
Yeah, well, Arizona now has moved to 13-1. They're ranked number 5 in the latest AP poll. 2-1 in Pac-12 play. Do you think something that we've discussed in the past? Do you think the number 5 ranking is not high enough in those rankings in that top 25 poll?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of go back and forth with this all the time, right? Because we think that, kind of we may not get the respect that we deserve, in the polls. But I mean, the polls really don't mean anything. It's great for the fans, and it's great for us and the program to be on, up in the top 5, and even higher, where I think we should be, probably around 2 or 3 right now. And I think we'll get there. But the only poll that matters, as we say every time on this show, is the poll at the end of the season. And so, it's good to be up there though, and it's good to play big time games, because when you're in the top 5 or top 10, you get every team's best shot even more, even though Arizona always gets it anyway, but you get it even more, and every game's a big time game. So it's a good thing to have, but it's not very important for us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't think it's a big deal. I think we're kind of in agreement that, you could have a great ranking, but it just matters what you do at the end of the year in the tournament, especially. But AJ, let's move on and talk about this week. Arizona has 2 Pac-12 games, both at home against Washington in just a couple hours here. And then on Saturday, they have Washington State. Both games are home. Tonight against the Washington Huskies, they're favored by 18.5 points. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's UW is always a tough game, no matter when we play them, regardless of their record. And they've been playing some decent basketball this year, and they're going to come in and try to fight for a win. I mean, obviously, anytime you can come into McHale and try to knock off Arizona, it's one of your biggest games of the year. So they're going to be ready to play. But I think we're going to be ready for this one, definitely. And we're going to come out and play really good basketball tonight. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think this is good. Come home for 2 games, get their mind right. And I think these are Washington should be an easier matchup than some of the other Pac-12 teams. Washington State is even a little bit worse than Washington. But then after that, later in the month they have to play at Oregon, which is still a tough matchup. USC, UCLA, so they're going to get tested there. But I think they have a relatively easy next 2 weeks, which should be good. And hopefully it'll gain some of the confidence back for some of these players like, Pella Larson and Ramey, and get some of maybe the young guys to even take another step forward. And that's what I wanted to ask you, AJ. Do you think, it seems like Henry, every time he plays, we see something better out of him. But do you think that he can even take another step or 2 forward this year? And the same goes for guys like Adama Ball, this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, Henry's you can see it coming for him. And we've always talked about this since the beginning of the season that, he was going to be a guy that you see progression, you see a big jump. And, it's starting to happen for him now. You can just tell he's more comfortable. He's more fluid. He's running the court more aggressively. He's asking for the ball, even though we don't give it to him a bunch down there in the block yet. But he's posting up hard and asking for it. He's crashing the boards, blocking shots. And we're just going to continue to see him get more comfortable on the offensive end of things. But as far as defensive rebounding goes right now, I think he's doing a heck of a job. Adama's a guy that we need. And, I really love his game. I think he's super talented. I think he hasn't figured out, totally where he fits in and what his role is. But I think in these next few games, it's going to be a big time for him to step in offensively and get back to kind of the few game run that he had, a little bit earlier in the season where he was shooting the ball really well, being aggressive and scoring the basketball. I think that'll help him. And then Kylan, I wanted to mention too, because, he's playing really well right now, and he's not scoring too much, and he doesn't show up in the box score, but the confidence that he plays with, the way that he handles pressure and traps and brings the ball up the court against pressure, it just makes the right play almost every time. And you'll see a flash of him throwing a really nice, no look pass or something like that. He has it in there, but he's just playing his role really well right now. And I think you're going to see him also, take a step in these next couple games, get hot from three, have maybe a double-digit scoring game, because it's coming for him too. You can just see it in the way and the confidence that he's playing with.
Yeah, well, AJ, before we get into our great guests, any other final thoughts? Because in the next 7 days, Arizona plays 3 games, and this is all Pac-12 opponents.
Yeah, I mean, we're into it now, right? The Pac-12 season is here for us. We've had a pretty good start to it, but like we said, having 2 home games at home, then I think we're going to win, and we take care of business there. And then, the upcoming games against Oregon, USC, and UCLA is really when we're going to see. And I'm waiting for that UCLA game, man. That's one that I think we're really going to be able to put another stamp on, who we are as a team, and have an opportunity to show the nation who we are. And so it's just fun, man. The Pac-12 is a fun time of year. We're playing really good basketball right now, and I think we're going to keep it rolling, especially up until those UCLA and USC games.
Yeah, well, AJ, let's not wait any longer, and tell everybody the incredible guest we have on the show today.
Well, he's a friend of the program, right? He's been on with us before. He's been my brother for all these years, my roommate for 4 years at Arizona. Played in the NBA for 19 seasons. Everybody knows him. The Jet, Jason Terry, joins us next on Bear Down Ballers. All right. Once again, got to welcome in my guy, my brother, the man who was a state champion at the high school level, Franklin High School, 2-timer, 1997 NCAA champion, 2011 NBA champion, current assistant coach for the Utah Jazz, my brother, Mr. Jason Terry. Sax, what's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, Big Sax? Good to see you. Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, man. Hope you and the family are doing good, man. Appreciate you taking the time today.
Anytime, you know that.
Oh, man, I know it. I had to get you back on. Just wanted to start out, kind of jump in with the current team. One thing that I saw, and they've been doing it now in all the big games, is jumping in with our 97 uniforms. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that and what you thought about them going back in the day for us.
Tremendous tribute with the 97 uniforms. Obviously, my favorite is the blue ones, yep. But the white ones are just as hot. They look good. They're playing good, so that's always a good thing. I was actually Arizona. The Cats this year came to Utah, and I got to watch them up close and in person when they came back from Maui. Tough game for us that night. We didn't come away with the victory, but you could just tell that we are a championship team. We just got to continue to shoot the ball well from the perimeter and then dominate inside in the paint. There hadn't been a combo in my eyes since you and Bennett, with the elite athleticism, the defense, and the ability to run the floor like Big Ball and Azuolas. So it's really good to see, and I'm proud of my Cats right now.
Yeah, man, they've been having a hell of a season. It's been fun to watch almost every game. You got a little bit more perspective on Zoo because you were around him, a couple of years ago. Can you talk a little bit more about him and just how you've seen his game develop and how you think it might translate, to the league as well?
The one thing we've seen from Zoo when we recruited him to Arizona was his elite athleticism, his ability to run the floor, and then his high basketball IQ. I think Coach Tommy Lloyd has done a great job of, developing his all-around game, his ability to dominate in the paint. That was something that he kind of shied away from as a freshman. He had a good touch from the outside, but, inside he didn't really play with the physicality that was needed. But now you see him dominating every single night, and you see the consistency. So for me, I look at a guy like Domantas Sabonis that plays with the Sacramento Kings. He's very similar in skill set to him. I think, Zoo may shoot it better a little more consistently outside than him, but very similar. Both left-handed, both have a high IQ for the game. And I think Zoo has a good chance at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Another dude that I want to get your perspective on that's, I know is still one of your favorites at the point guard position, Kirk Kriisa and the job that he's doing. Like, is there something you think he needs to do to help us, progress and get to that championship level for this year?
Man, the reason why I love Kirk is, I think back to our 97 team and, the teams that you and I played on, and it was his ability to compete. Like, he's just the ultimate competitor in practice, in the games. You see it. And the spirit in which he plays with is something that, I love. And so for me, Kerr just needs to continue to shoot the ball at a high level. He does a great job of facilitating, getting his teammates involved, but just keep playing with that passion and that enthusiasm for the game. And, keep shooting that ball, man, because when he shoots it, it always seems like it's going to go in.
Yeah, I think it's going in every time, man. And it usually hits back rim, you know what I mean? Something like that. So, it's right on line every time, man. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me, you played 19 seasons in the NBA, obviously, and now you become an assistant coach in the NBA. And people think that, I think those jobs are easy to get in that, but if you're a great player or even if you won a championship, that those jobs are just given to you. And, I wanted to give you the credit and, kind of talk to you about what that process was like for you, what you had to go through to get to where you are now, and kind of just walk people through like what it is, because it's not an easy thing to do. Those jobs don't just fall off trees. They aren't given to people. You have to earn them. And so can you talk about kind of that process that you've gone through to get where you are today?
Well, like anything else in life, when you're seeking out career opportunities, you have to have a goal in mind, and then you have to have a plan. I think my plan started 4 years before I retired. I kind of knew it was coming to an end and thinking about life after basketball, what I wanted to do. And I knew it had to do with coaching, and at what level I didn't know. So I tried every level. I mean, I coached AAU high school. Then I coached 1 year at Arizona College. I went into management for a brief stint. And then last year, I was very fortunate to get the head coaching job in Grand Rapids for the Denver Nuggets affiliate G League team. And so with that experience, it just opened my eyes to all the nuances around coaching, managing people, managing a staff, what all that entailed. I understood X's and O's, but understanding how to manage your time, how to be organized in a daily routine environment is what kind of helped me elevate my coaching career to the next level. And so when the Utah Jazz interviewed me for the head job, obviously that was my aspirations, but I ended up landing on Coach Will Hardy's staff. And so for me, it's just a stepping stone along the way. And I'm just very honored and grateful to even have this opportunity, because like you said, there's only a certain amount of jobs at this position. And to be one of the few, one of the chosen few, it's an honor. It's an honor to continue to grow and learn at the highest level.
Yeah, can you talk about kind of your staff and Will Hardy and what, because I know we've talked before and you really like him as a head coach and some of the things you're doing. You guys are also having a great season so far. Can you kind of talk about him and your staff there?
Yeah, great staff and experienced staff. And then when you talk about Will, first time head coach, being young, but last year he was an assistant with the Boston Celtics, and they went to the NBA Finals. Yeah. And so, his experience, he comes from a coaching tree of Greg Popovich, who I think is one of the greatest coaches of all time. So he has that type of experience, that type of knowledge. The thing about Will is he knows the players. He has a great relationship with the players, so he gets their attention. And then he has a plan. Like, he knows what system he wants to play, his style of play. And I think right now we're one of the top offensive teams in the league. And defensively, he has a great system as well. So, man, it's just a joy to be around a young coach that kind of is because he took the time and put the work in. He started in the film room, video coordinator in San Antonio, and to the grind and worked his way up to bench assist. And now he has his opportunity as a head coach. And we've shocked a lot of people this far earlier in the season, with our success, and give the players a lot of credit. Lauri Markkanen has had a phenomenal season. Jordan Clarkson has been a professional, but it has a lot to do with how coach listens to the guys, how they listen, and then how they retain the information they're receiving, and the staff is a big part of that.
All right, so I mean, you guys have been having a hell of a season, man. Like I said, one of the guys that when we were out in Tucson, before the season, we're at the Red Blue game. He was with you out there. We had talked about, kind of his impact and what he thought he was going to do this year and opportunities that he thought were going to be, allowed to him. He's taking advantage of that, man. He's on fire in the league right now. A guy that you've, been able to work with a ton this year and is really showing his game and how much he can do. Our guy, one of our family members, Lauri Markkanen, man. He's just been having a hell of a season. Like, can you talk about him and his progress, what you've seen from him and your goals for him the rest of the season?
Yeah, Lauri, by the signs of my hoodie, you can tell we're promoting him for All-Star this year, and it's well-deserved. Everybody, Wildcat Nation, go out there and vote for our guy. The finisher is what we're calling him.
Yes, sir.
But, a lot of times, guys come into our league, and it's not about their skill set. They obviously have this talent to get there, but it's about the opportunity and how the staff utilizes them within their system. And I think right now, Lauri has been put in a position, by our staff and by Coach Will, by empowering him to be the best player. Like, he's never been told that he's the best player on the team. And for us, that is. And he's been able to thrive and flourish in that role. And we do it in a variety of ways. He's not a guy that he's 7 feet and plays with his back to the basket. He's very versatile. We allow him to run the wing. We allow him to push the ball in transition. And he has the ultimate green light. He also guards multiple positions, which I had no idea he could do, but he guards like 1 through 5. He's easily able to switch on the guards and defend. And I think that's what we've grown to love about Lauri, is that he's just a fierce competitor, but he's willing to do whatever it takes for our team to have success.
Yeah, he's versatile, man. Like, you put him in so many different positions on the floor, and he's so big and can shoot it so well that, I mean, it's a tough matchup for anybody in the league. I don't think anybody can really stop him one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? And it's good to see him doing that, because he told me, he was like, this is going to be my year. I'm going for All-Star. And I was like, all right, man, okay. And he's out there proving it, man. So it's really fun to watch him play.
No doubt. Excited for him. And again, he's so young and he's just getting started, but it's good to be a part of this part of his journey, because you can see the confidence just growing every single day, every time he steps out on the floor. I mean, sometimes I'm watching the games and I'm watching him and he's putting like 19 and 20 on people in the first quarter. And I'm thinking, like, with those numbers, he's going to have a 50, 60-point game here pretty soon.
It's coming for him, man. It's coming for him. So, so let me talk to you about this, man. You were a part, executive producer on the LUTE documentary that's been running, on CBS College Sports. Me and my sons have watched it a bunch of times. We were there at the premiere, earlier this year. Can you kind of talk about that, man? What that process was like, of you being a part of that project, and it's just a great thing that you've done there.
Definitely was a joy to watch. Great project. Got to give podium pictures. Obviously, yourself, myself, all the guys that were involved in getting it done, getting the footage. Luke was awesome as a narrator. His voice was very unique and distinct and told the story. But, when you're a part of it, you don't really get to see it. And so watching that film, and it just got chills and goosebumps. And, though it was almost 25, almost 30 years ago, just every moment, like, you can relive those moments in your mind, but being able to see it and then see the process of what led up to us winning the national championship, to see Lute's story that has never been told. You never can do it is just do. You could have had like a 3-part doc, hour-long story, but we tried to get in what we could. Some people that didn't make it were kind of left out, but you're not forgotten. You'll forever be a part of his story. And Lute's the man. Lute is the ultimate GOAT for me. Obviously, what part he played in my life as a father figure, a mentor, and a coach. So his impact on all of us, former players, former Wildcats, will forever be remembered. And his legend will live on.
Yeah, we miss him every day, man. Still miss him, you know what I mean? Coach, but he's with us every day.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
So you know what else was about 25, 30 years ago was, And I asked Gene about this last time on the podcast. I'm gonna ask you what your favorite story is a trip to Australia after we won the 1997 NCAA championship.
Right.
I got to get your take on that trip and what you remember from that trip, bro.
Man, look, we had so many memories on that trip, but I think the one that sticks out most for me was when we jumped off the side of the boat. I think you were already down in the water. I jumped off. And then once I came up from underneath the water, I looked back and the boat was so far away, I panicked. I mean, I was so scared. Now, I don't know if that was the time you kind of swam towards me and you cut your foot up, but I just remember that whole experience I was so terrified because I couldn't drink that much water. And so I knew in that moment, like my swimming skills was horrible. So like I'm doggy paddling, trying to get back to the boat. But as more as I tried, the further out I got. Oh, I was petrified. So that was a good one. The other one was when we were about halfway in, everybody was out of money. And we're like, man, we got to get out of here. And Mike D somehow forced his way out. I don't know what excuse he came up with. And Coach O was like, nah, they spent a lot of money on y'all over here. We're going to be here for a while. We're going to finish this thing out. And so we ended up finishing it out. But love Australia, great experience. And those are kind of the things that I try to tell young people that are aspiring to play at the next level. I'm like, man, you got to go to college to get the experience. Like basketball can take you places you've never even imagined and dreamed you've thought of. And for me, Australia was one of those moments.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll never forget that trip, man. For real. Gene was the funniest talking about we were throwing the chicken bones in the water by his head, and he was getting mad. I'm gonna put you all in your mouth.
Right, on your mouth. Because all those fish were coming at him thinking they were getting food, and they were gonna eat Gene alive. It was crazy.
The other thing I had Bib on a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about everything back in the day, and he said that he had a Mike D sighting, man. He had a Mike D sighting a couple of weeks ago. Mike D was hit him up and said he was in Tucson, man. So we got to get with Mike D. Yeah, I'm gonna get his contact stuff so we can get with him.
Yeah, so we can connect with Diesel, man. One of the greatest Wildcats ever, for sure. Greatest human beings ever, really.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So yeah, man. So I know you're busy. I'm gonna let you get out of here, but I just wanted to. I know you got a lot of stuff going on off the court too, as well. So if you could talk about kind of what you got going on, man, and let the viewers know.
Man, just became an investor in Kudo popcorn. We got 3 flavors. We got the garlic Parmesan, and we got the kettle corn, and we got my favorite is the white cheddar. Is always better, but it's protein popcorn. As you can see right here, gluten-free, non-GMO. There's 70 calories per cup, and it's keto friendly. So a great snack when you're trying to stick to your diet, stay healthy. But if you love popcorn, I'm telling you right now, go to kudo.com/jet31. Come on in. If you love the product, you can become an affiliate, and you can earn almost 40% of sales as you sell, the Kudo popcorn. So Kudo popcorn is great. We got a lot of legends on board. Gary Payton, downtown Freddie Brown. Also, we have our first WNBA player from the Las Vegas Aces, the MVP, Miss Chelsea Gray. Yeah. So the brand's taking off. It's really taking off, but it's Kudo popcorn, kudos.com/jet31. Log on, get yours today. I'm going to send you, I got your gift for you today, Sax. I got a backpack. This one. So send me your address. I'll make sure you get some of this and let me know what you think.
I got you, man. Well, shoot. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, both on and off the court, my man. It's much love to you and the family always. Hopefully we get to link up after the season again. And just bear down as always, man. You're a legend.
Yes, sir. Hey, tell the boys, keep shooting, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Sounds good. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.